Hello, this is Michael. How are you today? People have asked me, how do you boil noodles? Well, the first thing you want to do, you want to make sure that your garbage disposal does not work in order to make certain that your sink and your kitchen are both filthy. So you double check it, it doesn't work. The next thing you do, you put water in a pot over your filthy sink. Now you've got your water. Then you take 1 second to look at the directions, which you probably need to know. Then you've been preheating your range tap over here. Make sure you don't burn your hand off your arm. You put that on the range tap, and now you're ready to go. And in only about 5 or 10 minutes, you'll have fresh noodles.
Won't let our love survive, oh no. Oh, dry the tears from your eyes.
This is Michael Kajowski, an ESL, EFL teacher. I have been in China and South Korea. A lot of people ask me, how do you throw away a plate full of peanut shells, especially if you're sitting on a bar stool? Well, the first thing you do, this is how you do this. You look the word peanut up in a foreign Chinese dictionary, and it's peanuts, wa sheng, wa sheng, wa sheng. The next thing you do, you film the peanuts, you open the garbage bag, and you throw them in the garbage bag, like this. And now, you just threw your peanut shells away, and you wipe the crumbs off your shirt, and you're done. Voila. Okay, now your water is a heavy boil, boiling heavy in this small kitchen here with your broken garbage disposal. So you quickly open the package of noodles, especially you want to use both hands. And you see that there isn't just one package, there's actually more than one package in the package. So what you do is you've got one hand available, you take like the back of a spoon and you stab it like that, and it doesn't work. So the next thing you do, you find a knife. There's a small knife, and you stab your noodles. Now you have a chance of opening them. Whoops. Oh no, I stepped on the knife, and now I'm going to the hospital. So now you've got your noodles, and you pour them into your pot, like this. Make sure there's no witch in the kitchen, no wizards, and yet you poured all the noodles into your pot. Okay, so now you got your garbage in your filthy kitchen over there, and you've got your filthy sink because the garbage disposal doesn't work. And overall, you've got a small filthy kitchen. Now you're boiling your noodles. Now you double check your box. By the way, it's healthy just to put syrup and honey and stuff. You just take some syrup and honey and put it in stuff, and you have more energy. Now you look at your box, and what does it say? It says that it takes about 12 minutes, or to my way of thinking, it's about 5 to 10 minutes depending on how this is boiling. Then you can let it take it off there. So you look at your wrist, and you see you don't wear a wristwatch. Okay, so now you got your noodles boiling, and it's just a matter of time. I found all sorts of old stuff in my grandfather's house when he died back in 1987. Here's the poem. Maybe you know it, maybe it was published by somebody, or maybe my grandfather could have written it. He wrote stuff from his car salesman job, and his wife, my grandmother, also wrote poetry at her shade shop. Yes, even after all these years, if you still would be mine, your eyes would be as moonlight and your lips would be as wine. I never go to sleep, my love, without a dream of you, and every day I pray my dreams will soon be coming true. I wonder in my lonely heart how much you think of me, and if you realize all that you inspire me to be. I want to be so kind and good, so honest, true, and fair. I long to gain perfection's goal with every virtue rare. But oh, how much my hopes depend on what your lips may say, and whether you and I will share. And then I. Hello, this is Michael at ESL After Dark. I want to thank you for watching my channel on YouTube. You know, a lot of people say when you're sitting in your car, there's different things you could do. Like you could cook those corn kernels there and just sit in your car and inhale the fumes. Or if you want to, you could go out on that interstate freeway over there and write down all the license plates. So what I've decided to do, I've decided to take this can of corn, pour it in there, and cook it in my car cooker. I plugged it into the cigarette socket, electric socket over here, and now all I have to do is turn the on switch on. Now it's lit, it's on, and it's cooking my corn that I can eat for lunch in my car, thus answering your question. Well, now that I'm done with this healthy foreign lunch, I think I'll answer the many people who've asked me this question. They've said, when was the first time that they stuffed a turd down your throat? Well, the first time I can remember was 1988. And I remember because of the colors that were in the toilet bowl. If I ate green food for lunch, the toilet bowl was green. If I ate yellow food for lunch, the waters in the bowl were yellow. And so that's the first time that I can remember anybody ever dropping a turd or green water or anything like that down my throat. Oh, this is Michael. I want to thank you for the 15,000 views at my channel. Only 14 subscribers. But anyway, a lot of people ask me, you know, how do you make coffee in your car? Well, first you plug in the coffee maker in the cigarette thing. There it is right there. Then you check the light to make sure that it's on. You got your hot water boiler on. The light is on, as you can see. And you got your filthy coffee cup ready. You've got your filthy cockroach infested coffee cup ready to go. And you also make sure you've got your instant coffee ready to go. And there's even some more stuff around here with those metal glasses and stuff. And you got the motor running, so there's no problem right now. Okay, so you're in your filthy kitchen. You don't see any witches or wizards, and your noodles are boiling. So you want to make sure that you're always safe. You want to be safe. So you see that sharp knife on the floor. Instead of waiting for like a wizard to come along and pick it up, or a witch, you pick it up yourself and you clean your own kitchen. So you pick the knife up, and instead of putting it directly back in the knife rack, you just leave it there as a message to yourself that it had dropped on the floor. And I haven't seen a cockroach down there in about a day. Okay, so now you got your filthy kitchen counter with your garbage on it. So you pick your garbage up with your free hand, like this, and you throw it in a garbage bag, like this. Here's your garbage bag. You take your trash and you throw it in the garbage bag. But you also have to film it so people can see it. There goes Betty Crocker, Betty Crocker's Noodles, Betty Crocker's Suddenly Salad Pasta Classic. There it goes in the trash bag. And you even film the trash bag. Now, since nobody's sitting there and it's messy anyway, you put your trash bag on the chair, even though that wastebasket over there is empty. Now you've passed some of the time away, and you think of things to do to pass away the time. And you ask yourself questions like, well, can I write down license plate numbers? That shade over there is closed. I don't see any license plates. So then what you do, you take your decaffeinated instant coffee. This is Folgers. Again, everything is classic here in 2022. Folgers Classic Decaf, also in Spanish, because the Spanish people, Mexicans, speak English so well that we've rewarded them by putting it in Spanish. So there it tells you about your decaffeinated coffee in this green Folgers container. All right, now you passed away a little more time, and you're waiting for your noodles to boil. Now, some people would put them in that microwave there, and they would not put them in the refrigerator. Let's see, why would I be boiling noodles? Well, let me look in here. I look in my refrigerator. Nothing there, just one frozen dinner, frozen spaghetti. So that is why I'm boiling noodles. This Florida park is loaded with hungry birds. They love bread. The alligators have vacated that swamp. Now, just like the birds around here and the upcoming boatyard, I appreciate the 36,000 views, but I also wouldn't mind it if I could get more subscribers. So if you find a subscriber button, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the Michael Kajowski channel. Coming up here is a boatyard, if I can get it, and I'm going a little faster with it today. A lot of pretty boats there, and they need a place to put up for the long term. Hello, this is Michael Kajowski from the United States. I'm currently located in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is about 100 kilometers away from the China Embassy in Chicago, Illinois, in the middle of the USA, called the Midwest. I've taught in China and South Korea previously. I enjoyed teaching in Busan, where I taught mostly elementary school children. I also enjoyed teaching in Shenzhen, where I taught mostly high school and elementary school, high school students and grade school students. And I also taught in the middle of China in Pindingshan City near Flat Top Mountain to college students, which are some of my favorites, university students, teaching history in English, the history of the United States, the history of Great Britain, also called United Kingdom, England, European history, and I also have taught oral English. As you can see, most English is spoken out loud, oral, like tourist English, basic English, oral English, and I enjoy teaching English because I have worked as a writer at newspapers and magazines in the United States. Today is Friday, December 13th, 2019, in the morning in the United States. And I've eaten for breakfast some mian tao, some mi fan. I enjoy eating Chinese foods, going to Chinese restaurants, Chinese parks.
Chinese mountains, hiking, walking around China, taking taxis, buses, things like that. So I hope you're enthusiastic, interested in having an American teacher at your location, and that you can, as a recruiter, that you can find me a good job in China. Once again, my name is Michael Kajowski. I'm in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in USA. You're Jane. I'm sending this message to you. Have a nice day.
Okay, now you've boiled your noodles for 12 minutes, and instead of having the pot, run over with steam and suds and foam, you take it off. You take your boiling pot off the kitchen range, and you leave it rest there next to the refrigerator for several minutes. And now you've got your noodles in your pot, and the reason is because when you looked in the refrigerator, there was nothing in there. Just one frozen spaghetti dinner. So now you just leave your noodles rest and simmer, and you make sure that you didn't cook them too much, but that you cooked them enough. Well, this is Michael with all these birds and planes and stuff flying around here. This old 20-year-old Buick. I thought I'd show you this. I should really wash it and clean it. This vintage Reuben Obermeyer glass from our family's old Fox Lane house on Fox Lane and Fox Point, 53217. There's some ducks way down there. You probably can't see them with this phone camera, but they have a hunter on here, different colors. This is about a 50, 60-year-old glass from my grandfather's dishware and glassware set. Reuben Obermeyer, who died in 1987, was born in 1980, and sold Buicks at Wally Rank Buick in Milwaukee for 50 years. Just sitting here doing absolutely nothing, I realize that many, 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 many people have suggested you should never guzzle voraciously motel food on camera, even if the camera is inside a telephone. Rum, 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 rum. Rum, 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 rum. Yum, 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 yum. Ah. Mm. Ah. Ah. So the next step is your noodles are simmering. You pretend to stir them a little with a wooden spoon. The reason is that you left your spatula in the dishwasher. There it is. So you look at your spatula out of the dishwasher, looks clean. I haven't seen a cockroach on it in one day. Alright, so the next thing you do, you look this shit over, and there you got some of your noodles with your clean spatula. So the next thing you do, you take some salt off your filthy counter and you pour it on the noodles. So now you've got some salt on them and you stir it up. And you stir both ways, not just one way. And in fact, in order to get exercise, you really should stir off all the steam for about 5 minutes. Okay, now you throw that on your filthy paper plate because I haven't seen a cockroach on that for a day. Alright, now over here, since the garbage disposal doesn't work, you go in your filthy sink. This is the advantage of stuff malfunctioning. You put your plastic plate on the dirty counter and you put the noodle thing on it to see if it melts. But while you're doing that, you juggle this stuff in your hands and you bring your spatula over to see if you can drain the noodles with your spatula. Like this. And I guess you can. So all you have to do is put them in a bowl. You look up in your cabinet up here and you see that yes, there are clean bowls up there. I haven't seen a witch there in a long time. I haven't really seen a cockroach in about a day. So you take a bowl out of there like this. You put it down there and on that filthy counter, and the spatula lets you put the noodles in the bowl. So now you've got your pasta going into a bowl. Then that got a little boring just doing that. So in order to alleviate that, you pour some of the water out of there without spilling the noodles. And if the cockroach lives down there, that's a way of getting rid of them. This is exciting, isn't it? Okay, now your noodles are steaming on the coffee table. You're really not supposed to eat in the living room, but that's what you're doing. Alright, so you're letting the steam and the heat, go off your noodles, evaporate, and you've got a colossal bowl filled with noodles. So you can anticipate that without spaghetti sauce on them, and without any meat or fish in them, they probably don't have a lot of taste. So you can take your salt container and pour a little salt on them. Now, all right, you've got your bowl, your colossal bowl of pasta. However, you've drank all your liquids and it's messy around this place. So what do you do to blow off a little steam? You take your water and you pour it into your glass where you're having a health shake. And now, the exciting part of your meal, you throw your water bottle away. And that's it. Well, let's see what happens here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to pour potatoes using a microwave, where you're really supposed to make potatoes always in ovens and that kind of thing, and whatever they're called, range burners in the kitchen or whatever. I don't know what they're called because I'm not a chef, but this came out of a microwave, which is not the correct way to do it, especially when you're putting cannabis in it. Nothing can hold you now, not even these potatoes. Well, there you go, named after your pop. Stranded, Stranded on the toilet bowl. What do you do if you're stranded and you can't reach the roll? To prove you're a man, you must wipe it with your hand. Stranded on the toilet bowl. What do you do if you're stranded and you can't reach the roll? Stranded on the toilet bowl. What do you do if you're stranded and you can't reach the roll? To prove you're a man, you must wipe it with your hand. Stranded on the toilet bowl. What do you do if you're stranded and you can't reach the roll? Woo! Whoa! This is Michael at ESL After Dark. This is 2023. Right here we have a novel, 396 pages that I self-published in 2015, After Dark by Michael Kajowski, A World Full of Life and Sorrow. And I self-published that one through booklocker.com in approximately January of 2015. The similar manuscript was preceded by Unequivocal Malice. I gave myself a pseudonym, Michael Parker, self-published in approximately December of 2004 at iUniverse out in Nebraska at that time. That was preceded by this manuscript, which I started writing in 2001. I was calling it Stonewood at that time. So there's the progression of those. This is Michael, ESL After Dark. Those noodles are really boiling very well. They're hot, and so they're really cooking. I'm going to take them off here now, and it's probably about 5 minutes. It's elbow macaroni that can go in something like that. That is a bowl of soup. Or in cheese, of course, cheese macaroni. Now I've taken the elbow macaroni off there, and I've got it simmering. So the next thing you do is you use your spatula to clear the water out of there and drain it a little into the sink. I'm going to cut corners here and just go a little fast and pour some of the water out without pouring the elbow macaroni out, which will taste good.
Blamed for the loss of his wife. You know, Lord, I've been in a prison for something that I never done.
I have a request. Someone asked, where did you first get the word turd, T-U-R-D? I believe our family moved to a suburb of Milwaukee from the city of Milwaukee in 1965, and we went from a ethnic Polish neighborhood to an ethnic sort of Irish Catholic and Polish and German area north of Milwaukee. So I believe I first heard the word turd from Irish Catholic neighbors, one of whom I think got a tryout with the Green Bay Packers. Also, 1980s, I had a half-sister named Christine, and there was a Christine Stephen King movie out with a famous turd line at the beginning of that movie. Also, all the toilet bowl manufacturers in the United States and plumbers. Hello, this is Michael. How are you today? Millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of people have asked me, how do you cook noodles in a microwave? Well, the first thing you do, you open the microwave door. You then take your bowl of noodles. This is Chef Boyardee, like Italian spaghetti type noodles or regular noodles, and you put them in your microwave. Then you set the time on it. You cancel the last thing hit time cook, and I'm going to hit 3, 3, 3, 3. You then hit start, and it knows to start it because it's a brilliant computer, this microwave. And so millions and millions and billions of people cook noodles in microwaves. Here is an excerpt of Loretta Lynn's deposition where she wants to play house and does not want to be a lonely woman.
Like so many times before.
Like so many times.
Didn't stay quite right today.
Well, something wasn't quite right.
So I went outside to see what they were doing. I bet my eyes go
A full concert, Tammy Wynette, uploaded to the internet. Tammy Live. American country music. Unique to the United States. You know, sitting here outdoors and in my car at this coffee shop, a very important, crucial question has occurred to me. A lot of people ask me, how do you eat peanut butter at a coffee shop in the parking lot in the United States? Well, the first thing you do, you take a small carrot that you buy at the grocery store and you attach it to a fork. You then dip it in the peanut butter like that, and you have your peanut butter on your carrot. And then eat it, crunch, crunch, crunch. Now, this is a lot different than foreign coffee shops where you sit there guzzling coffee and working at your computer on the internet.
Edgar Allan Poe's life and death were as dark as his work. To begin with, when he was only a baby, his father abandoned him and his mother died. His new guardians never supported his dreams of becoming a writer. Poe struggled with debt his entire life.